dentist in a long and your teeth. If you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Chamblatt Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at chamblattfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
Tune in for Philosophy Talk, the program that questions everything.
Except your intelligence.
Coming up, Hypatia of Alexandria.
Hypatia was a gifted ancient philosopher, mathematician, and astronomer.
Her ideas were considered so dangerous, she was actually murdered for them.
So what was so revolutionary and dangerous about Hypatia's philosophical ideas?
Hypatia of Alexandria. Next time on Philosophy Talk.
Philosophy Talk, every Sunday at 8 a.m. on AM 950.
Hey, it's Tom. Since 2009, All Energy Solar has been providing solar energy solutions to customers. With fully licensed electricians and installers, you can be sure that your solar installation will go smoothly. The team at All Energy Solar understands that every customer is unique. They'll take the time to survey and understand your property to find a solar solution that works for you. One of the biggest advantages of going solar is the opportunity to take advantage of the many solar incentives available. But it can often be confusing to know what you're qualified for. All Energy Solar professionals will help you find out what savings you can apply for and even help with your applications. This is especially important since many rebate programs have limited capacity and are first come, first serve. So it's important to have a professional on your side who will make sure you get every eligible rebate. Get a free no obligation assessment from All Energy Solar's commercial solar specialists by calling 800-620-3370 or visit allenergysolar.com.
Hey, Cudahy, all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear skies tonight with a low of 69, then more hot sunshine Tuesday with a high of 95. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, he cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy, all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. And we discuss local and national Native news and events. As you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You're absolutely right, Dakota. And this portion of the show is supported by the Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, it does. And yes, it does. So today we have Dr. Stately calling in. He's in Wisconsin with his sons playing hockey. And can't imagine playing hockey when it's 100 degrees outside, but that's just me. The old days, I think the ice got warm we'll have to ask him about that. And then later on, we're going to check in with former state rep Ruth Buffalo of North Dakota and what she's doing. She's still a doer, and she's still doing things for her people all across Turtle Island. So it's exciting. Hey, Haley, I know you're a big sports fan, working with the Gophers when you were in school and doing those things.
Yep.
The Twins tomorrow will be having the Minnesota Twins baseball team will be having Native American Heritage Day, and they have a giveaway of for the first 5,000 people baseball caps, and I haven't seen them, but I can't wait to see them. And we're going to be out there broadcasting, I do believe, tomorrow before the Twins game, and then we're going to be there at the Twins, so it's pretty
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, so the Twins take on the Seattle Mariners is who they're playing tomorrow, Tuesday the 25th, and that game starts at 6:40. That's when they throw the first pitch, and that's tomorrow night at Target Field here in Minneapolis. And that's presented. So Native American Heritage Night is presented by Prairie Island Indian Community and Treasure Island Resort and Casino. And yes, as you said, Daga, the first 5,000 fans through the gates will receive a free Native American Heritage Night hat or T-shirt. I saw somewhere too.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Oh, we're gonna have to. You know how I am with T-shirts, so
I know. I have not seen the design yet, but I'm sure they'll be great and beautiful. So
And
I'm
I'm sure
excited
it's
to see
through
that.
and I'm sorry, and I'm sure it's through some artists from Prairie Island, Dakota Design, which I've seen over the years is awesome, and had good ones for the Twins there to be doing that, and also, as you know, Haley, I was at the last couple Twins games and victories in the last few innings, and one went to 12 innings. And I love baseball, but we also have the creative corner out there. The Native Roots Arts Trading Post is out there too. And stop in and check out some earrings from Joseph Ryder, some art from Heck. We have Wild Rice out there. Stop in and support our Native artists and communities too. So that'll be a good day to do that.
Yeah, all around a big Native American night out at Target Field.
Yeah. So, have you been to a baseball game yet this year?
I haven't this year. I did go. I got out to one. I think it was last season, but only one.
Well, they're pitching really well, and the game's different now too, Haley, because they have a, I want to say a shot clock. They have a pitch clock, and it's you have to throw the pitch within a certain time, which or be in the batter's
Oh.
box with a certain amount of time. And the games have now averaged roughly 2 hours and 39 minutes, which I can deal with. Those 4-hour games that they've been doing in the past were really getting into my bedtime and sleeping time with those
Yeah.
night games.
Yeah, the extra innings can get very long.
Yeah, or just the regular innings when they take their time and adjust their little batting gloves. And I hate to always bring this up, but when I was playing, we didn't use no stinking batting gloves. We just got blisters in our hands and then kept on swinging. But it's changed the game a little bit. I don't know if you know about this. They can't do the big switch anymore in the infield and the outfield, and that
I didn't
seems
know.
to
I didn't know any of that.
yeah, that seems to be helping out the Twins hitters as much help as they need. It's funny, 4 years ago, they were the Bomba Squad and hitting record home runs, and now they can't hit, and now they have one of the best pitching staffs in the
Yeah.
majors. So that's
What's their record? The
weird.
record now or this season so far is 53-48, right?
Yeah, and they're in first place in their division, which obviously is a weaker division in the majors. And but they're in first place by 3 games. And since the All-Star game break, I think they're 8-2, which is a nice little run if they could keep up that winning percentage the rest of the year. And supposedly they have a easier schedule the rest of the year. So we'll see what happens with the Twins. I love to go out there. It's a beautiful stadium. And I can't believe, Haley, you might be a little too young for this, but I can't believe they put that beautiful stadium in such a small footprint. It was in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And it was like, how are they going to fit a stadium in this little area? And they did. They really did. And it's a beautiful stadium.
Well, they were building that, I believe, when I was still in elementary school. Because
Yeah.
I remember 6th grade, my 6th grade was still part of the elementary school at the time, but we did a field trip for the first season that the Twins played at Target Field. And yeah, I remember it was so cool to have an outdoor stadium and not be in the Metrodome anymore.
Right. 2000, does it make sense it was 2010 when the first season, 13 years ago? Does that make sense to your math of what age you are?
2010, I believe.
Okay,
Was it
so
a little
2000
earlier than
you're
that?
2010 was the first, I believe, the first year of it, and we had season tickets. I hated the Metrodome. I was brought up at the old Met, which was outdoor stadium where the Mall of America is right now, and you can see there's a chair up in home plate in the Mall of America in the where they have the rides, and they have a chair up there because Harmon Killebrew hit a 500 plus foot home run that's still there in the home plate, and the chair which represented where he hit it, which
Wow.
if you look at 500 feet is a long way.
Yeah, I'll have to keep my eye out for that next time I'm out at MOA. I don't think I've ever seen that out there.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden, so you kind of do have to look for it for sure. It's on the wall, and you have to look up there and then find home plate, which is on the ground, kind of 500 feet away.
Right. Well, I got a friend who I think he just got his Twins debut. Shout out to my friend Matt Wallner from Forest Lake High School. Congratulations on your first game with the Twins this weekend. I'm excited to see
Wow,
you playing out there.
he's been up for a little while.
Has he? Okay. Yeah, I just saw him on TV playing the
Yeah.
first game that I saw him playing. But yeah, that was very cool.
Well, he had a great game yesterday, and he's been doing very well. He played left field for the first time a couple games ago, and he's an outfielder. And I didn't know Forest Lake had any baseball players, but they obviously do. And he's looking good, and it's always
Yeah.
good to have a former Minnesota person. Did he go to college?
He did. He did go to college. I believe he played at Ole Miss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went and played
Very
there.
cool. Because, sometimes they can draft them when they're in high school and they go right
Yeah,
in.
well, that's what they were trying to do, but he said he wanted to play college ball first.
Well, good for him, and he's good. And now that we know that, we can get him on the show. That you personally know him, and we can chill out with a Minnesota Twin tomorrow. Oh,
let's do it.
All right. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. Up next, Dr. Stately. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with
us.
I stole it from you. We'll be right back.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Life is a journey, and the Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas will help you get where you want to go. Located in downtown Minneapolis, this affordable 2-year college provides free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass, making DFC the perfect pathway to a bachelor's degree. Turn your dreams into reality at Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas. Apply today at dfc.stthomas.edu. Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, yes, it is. What a great organization. Hey, we have Dr. Stately on the phone. Dr. Stately, can you hear me? He can't hear me. Dr. Stately. Oh,
All the
no, I
hockey
think-
arena ice is blocking the signal.
right, exactly. Well, we might be talking to ourselves here for the next few minutes until we get Ruth Buffalo on, because I don't see. I'm trying to call again.
Your call has been.
Yeah, it went right into voicemail.
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah. The total. I want to say the total. The ice arenas usually are really packed up. You know, I'll just talk a little bit more about the Twins. We have a painting out there, an original painting, and we just had another one commissioned from this artist named Heck out at the Twins Stadium, and we also have posters of it. So if you can't afford the original painting, we have posters, but it's really cool. It has the city landscape. It's kind of the background of the Twins Stadium in right field, but kind of up in the corners, it has Chief Bender, who's from Minnesota and a Hall of Fame Native American pitcher. And then also Jim Thorpe. And Jim Thorpe, I don't know, Haley, if you remember Jim Thorpe, but he was probably the greatest athlete in the first half century of the 20th century. He was Bo Jackson before there was Bo Jackson. He was an Olympic Native American Olympic gold decathlon winner. He played for the baseball team for 3 teams. The Giants were one of them. He also played. He was the first NFL commissioner. And played professional football, and so we want to keep his spirit alive. I think there just was a book that came out. The Path Lit by Lightning came out last year on his life story. And there's been books over the years about Jim Thorpe, but he sometimes gets forgotten. I don't even know. Do you even know the information I just gave you as being a sports person?
I honestly don't. I know I
No.
feel like I should, but yeah.
No, I understand, and I think that's why we're talking about it, that a lot of people don't, especially maybe in your age group and even my age group, because he came, I do believe it was the 1912 Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And he played in the 20s, in Major League Baseball, and the 20s in football, and commissioner, and he lived, as Native Americans, it happens to Native Americans, he didn't live that long. He was only in his 50s when he died, which, is the average age of a lot of Native American men living. So it's pretty interesting that we don't live that long, and that's probably why at such a young age I'm an elder. In my tribe, when I turned 60, I became an elder, and they take the tribes, and the tribe that I'm with, Ho-Chunk Nation, they really take care of elders,
Right.
in a lot of different ways. And then when you turn 70, Haley, you become an elite elder, and
Yeah.
I'm just an elite old person. I'm a young old person, so I don't consider myself an elder in the native way, but that's what we're called in the, I guess, tribal way, but not so much the native way, because elders, as you know, really know our history, how to
Right.
do things in a good way, and how to,
Right. Yeah, elders' responsibility is to really teach and provide the knowledge and traditions to the younger generations so that they can be maintained and passed down to the next 7 generations, and to keep those traditions alive, really. So
right. And you were named by an elder.
I was. Yeah, I don't think we've ever said my native name on here.
Well, you should every time.
Should we announce that? I think it is. So it's Ho Chunk language, which is called Hokok language. And the spelling is always different than how you really pronounce it, I guess, in Ho Chunk. But so yeah, would it be, so it would be my great Daga, Daga meaning uncle in Ho Chunk, my great Daga Nate, and his
Yep.
wife Loretta. They named me and my cousin Austin, who is just barely a year older than me. I like to say barely because we're 4 days apart, really,
Oh.
for birthdays. But yeah, we got named the same day by great Uncle Nate. And my name, I was gifted with Little Eagle Princess. And how you say that in Ho Chunk language is Cha Shep Hey Wungawe Neek.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
cool.
try saying that 5 times fast.
No. I I always I always have trouble saying eagle, chashup.
Yeah,
I
Cha
always have
Shep.
trouble I always have trouble saying that word for some reason. And we're in the Eagle clan, and as probably people do might or might not know that are listening and listened over the years of the show is that there's 12 clans in Ho Chunk or Hoak, as you were saying earlier.
Yes.
And we are the Eagle clan, and there's a whole bunch. And I know, like, the Bear clan, which I seem to run into a lot here in the Twin Cities. There's a lot of Bear clan. Those are our warriors and our police. And those are people. The Bear clan, for instance, would be if we were having trouble with somebody or at some organization, we'd bring the Bear clan in to protect us and be the
Yeah.
police of that. And so there's all these uh, different things that each clan is responsible for, and it's always also too good to know who is in what clan, because you don't want to marry the same people that are in the same clan because you're going to be related to them.
Yeah, right. There's always that joke that goes around when you're out at a native event and you're like, "Oh, I hope this guy's not my cousin." You're like, "I
Right.
hope we're not related." But yeah.
Well, and it's funny, Haley, too, because we are, and you and I are related. We are related to a lot of people, and I think it's because of the genocide of our tribe, where we had hundreds of thousand people that were Ho Chunk, and it was down to less than 1,000 at one time because of all the genocide and the things, and so we literally are related to everybody, and
Yeah.
that's crazy. I mean, I took a Ancestry.com test, and you just go further and further down. You go, wow, we're related to Sharice Davids. I mean,
Right.
people I never even thought, because we can look back at our name and go, oh, okay, the Holtons, they're related to us, and the Clevelands, and you can look on and on. We're not just McKees, but there's some heavy duty names in the nation that we're related to, but that's because it's such a small population,
Yeah,
and
it really
became
is.
really small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I agree. It's great that we have the tools and the technology that we have today where we can track down our family and see uh where they're living now, if they're still around,
Mhm.
because we talk about blood quantum,
Mm. I
you have to know
Yep.
where your blood comes from. You got to know your relatives. And sometimes it
Right.
can be hard to track down.
Right, and that's an important thing, because we talk about that, and we've talked about that before. We've gone from Minnesota Twins talking about blood quantum, that's a big stretch here, but we've talked about, it isn't a slap in the face, or it isn't disrespectful if people ask you who you are when it comes to natives. You spit it out. You say, "Hey, I'm Eagle Clan. My name's Wakunja Hade. My Gaga was Helen McKee. My great grandfather." In a white way was Howard McKee Jr., and so on and so forth. And when you say the name McKee, people will go, "Okay, I know who you are." But if you can't do that,
Yeah.
very skeptical of if you are just a person that wants to be a Native American, which, Haley, we've run into a lot over the years. And, you know, it's crazy that these people are getting money as professors and they can't find or follow their heritage. Not only just blood quantum, because I don't like blood quantum, period, or I don't like the term blood quantum. That's a colonized term. But I mean descendants, you know, who you related to, you know, can you tell me who you're related to? And then the old ones, the ones that are my age or older, they will definitely know who you're talking about. They'll know who you're related to. They'll start spitting it out at you and learn or know more about, you know, who you're related to than you do sometimes. It's really interesting, and it's something that's very important because, you know, you can't just say you're related to and not know who your people are, but you also have to show up and be a part of your family and do good things. And that's what we try to do here and also everywhere else in the nation. And we love being Ho-Chunk. So we'll be right back. And hopefully we'll have Ruth Buffalo. We'll be talking more baseball and blood quantum here, Haley. We'll be right back after this short break. Native Roots Radio.
Stay with us.
Attention, Native American community. We've come a long way in our fight against COVID-19. The emergency declaration may be over, but our responsibility to stay vigilant remains. It is crucial to remember that the virus is still among us, and we must continue to prioritize our health and the well-being of our loved ones and elders. Besides getting vaccinated, let's not forget the basics when we're around people who are still vulnerable to COVID-19. Wear your mask, wash your hands regularly, and take an at-home COVID-19 test if you have any symptoms. We've shown incredible strength and resilience throughout history, and we will triumph over this challenge as well. Let's honor our ancestors by taking care of one another and keeping our communities safe. Together, let's navigate uncertain times with courage and unity. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember that our actions today will shape a brighter future for our Native community. Find more tips on continuing to be safe at health.state.mn.us.
Your neighbors are talking about the Blue Line extension, connecting North Minneapolis, Crystal, Robbinsdale, and Brooklyn Park to the light rail transit system.
The Blue Line allows us to actually connect people in real time to this community. Instead of bypassing it, they're going to stop and shop. They're going to stop and play. They're going to stop and work. Blue Line is a connector.
Hear more of this story and others at yourblueline.org.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
The Powderhorn Art Fair is returning to Powderhorn Park to celebrate its 32nd anniversary, August 5th and 6th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. The fair will feature a vibrant and diverse selection of art from over 150 exhibiting artists from across the country. Whether you're just starting an art collection or a seasoned buyer, they'll have the perfect piece for you. Plus, there's more. Immersive art installations offer fairgoers a chance to explore interactive experiences that transport them into an artist's vision. In addition to all the fantastic art, over a dozen food vendors serving up sweet and savory delights will be ready for you and other hungry fairgoers. A family zone will offer creative activities for kids of all ages and entertainment each day. The fair and activities are free to attendees. Make plans to head to Powderhorn Park on August 5th and 6th. Learn more at powderhornartfair.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear skies tonight with a low of 69, then more hot sunshine Tuesday with a high of 95. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Minnesota 350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Yes, they do. Hey, really happy to have Ruth Ann of Buffalo on. Welcome, former state representative. We're always really great to see and hear from you. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yes, Madzigadad, thank you for having me.
Right on. Hey, you are down in Billings, Montana. I guess that's not down, that's up and over. And you are doing the Not Invisible Act Commission hearings there, and really exciting that this process is happening, but also probably heavy on the heart when you hear all these people telling their stories. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And yes, just arrived to Billings, Montana today with a few of my family members. And it's 105 degrees here, heat advisory. But yes, this is the final stop, I guess you could say, for the series of field hearings that have been held across the United States for the Not Invisible Act Commission's field hearings. So it'll be 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, here at the Billings Hotel and Convention Center, starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time.
Wow. And can we listen in on these in this public hearing, or do you have to be in Billings? I know you've been here in the Twin Cities and all over across the country.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, no, you have to be present. The morning sessions will have media present and open to the media the first morning session, and then the afternoon and the following day are time allotted for community members, individuals, families to provide testimony. And so that will then be closed to the media. So but yeah, you must be present. We are not doing any live streams, and just really want to also respect the privacy of those who do come forward to share their stories or stories of their loved ones. But we do have the option of private testimony available too. So if you're not comfortable providing your testimony to the full room where some of the commissioners will be, we now have the option for you to provide that testimony privately. And then the written testimony has always been ongoing. I believe we have a deadline of August 10th to submit your written testimony. And we also have 2 virtual hearings that will take place first few days of August.
So just a little background, Ruth. In October 2020, the Not Invisible Act of 2019 was signed into law as the first bill in history to be introduced and passed by 4 U.S. Congress members enrolled in the respective federally recognized tribes.
Right.
4 were led by Secretary of Interior Deb Haaland. Wow, that's amazing. And will you see Deb? Will she be up for secretary?
Not that we're aware of, but it's every hearing has been different, and so we haven't received word yet if she is, but it's always a possibility.
Yeah. So tell me more. I mean, this has got to be a whole, and I mean this in a serious way, a lot of smudging going on because of how deep and heavy this is, Ruth. This is probably heavy on your heart after you hear all this, and you've been at all these hearings.
For sure. Yeah, we have, they designed it to where there are 7 field hearings. And the first one was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, mid-April. And then the end of April was Anchorage, Alaska. But we also visited Ketchikan and then the village of Emonic and Bethel. And that was a 7-day trip. And then we went to Flagstaff, Arizona, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Blue Lake, California, and then the final stop here is Billings, Montana. So yes, definitely lots of taking care of ourselves and each other. Some of the stories that are shared are very, very personal and oftentimes do remind us who are there receiving the testimony on the commission or within the commission. It definitely has reminded us of different life experiences that we may have experienced or someone we know or a loved one has experienced. So we definitely are trying to make sure that we are incorporating our healing practices into everything that we do, because some of the stories that we have heard, you cannot unhear, and so we want to make sure that we are doing our part with this responsibility of moving whatever work we can forward for justice for everyone.
So
But
part of oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, so yeah, the Not Invisible Act Commission, it's a very broad coalition. I guess you could call it a coalition. It's a commission, but it's the most diverse commission to date in the federal government's history, we are told. That means that there are more representatives within the commission, the makeup of the commission that are non-federal representatives like myself. I'm representing First Nations Women's Alliance, but we also have for each subcommittee, we have 2 co-chairs, one federal representative and one non-federal. So I co-chair subcommittee 4 alongside an individual who is from the a federal agency. And subcommittee 4 is focused on jurisdiction, prosecution, information sharing, and sharing of resources across the different jurisdictions. So we are tasked with developing this report full of recommendations that will go to Congress, Department of Interior, and Department of Justice. So it's been pretty, intense. We don't have a big turnaround time to pump out these recommendations. So we're trying to do the best we can with the amount of time that we have.
I read that the Bureau of Indian Affairs estimates that there are over 4,200 unsolved MMIP cases. I don't know. I would personally think that there's more. Maybe they stop counting after a certain number. I mean, what's your feeling on that, Ruth?
Gosh, it's we know that anecdotally, I think being a Native or being a Hidatsa, Mandan, Apache woman, we know that what data that is reported oftentimes is very skewed based off of the recorder, and so how do we get parity in the data arena, period? And so that has always been something that many of us talk about. Even, we've heard from medical examiners and coroners' offices as well during our stops across the country at the different field hearings, and we've had some pretty, I guess you could say, robust conversations on the gaps within the existing systems. And so we know that what data is reported, like that one that we hear a lot is, 84% of Native women will have experienced some form of violence within their lifetime. And that's always striking to hear. But, many of us believe that that number is probably, unfortunately, a lot higher if data was reported, if people did, number one, come forward to report their experiences, and number two, if it was recorded properly and not misclassified under a different race or category, or just not recorded at all if people have come forward. So there's so many different things that we're hearing in terms of gaps within the system. And so definitely these efforts within the Not Invisible Act Commission, many believe it's only the beginning, because we cannot solve this with one commission.
Right.
This is not going to solve it. This is the beginning. And so hopefully there will be phase 1, phase 2, because this is going to take some time to get the results that everyone deserves and needs.
So, Ruth, what is the final outcome that we're looking for? I mean, during these sessions, I imagine there's a lot of trauma and a lot of healing by telling these stories. But what is the political ramification at the end of the? What are we looking for at the end of this?
Ultimately, at the end of this, we're looking for meaningful change, transformative change, that will have teeth in it. We want our efforts as a commissioner to be more than just, a checking the box or a good gesture of bringing a diverse group of people together, to have some conversations, to listen to, 7 different communities. But we want it to be long-lasting, meaningful, transformative change. So by law, or what is written in law for the Not Invisible Act Commission, is that ultimately the commission's purpose is to develop recommendations for the Departments of the Interior and Justice through the work of 6 subcommittees focused on improving intergovernmental coordination and establishing best practices for state, tribal, and federal law enforcement to bolster resources for survivors and victims' families, and combating the epidemic of missing persons, murder, and trafficking of American Indian and Alaska Native peoples, as specified under the law.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you for amplifying this. You've always been a doer, and as long as I've known you, and I really appreciate our friendship and you coming on and talking about a lot of heavy things. I mean, I'm glad your family's with you, and I'm glad that I'm not glad it's hot, but you guys can go swimming together as a family in the pool and and heal and be in a good place with your family. So I'm glad you can take your family with you.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I do have my sister and her partner with as well, and their children. And unfortunately, it would be my sister-in-law, late sister-in-law. Unfortunately, my sister and her partner will be here in Billings to share their story of what happened to his late baby sister on our reservation, Fort Berthold Indian Reservation, in Newtown, March of 2023. And so helping them the best I can. And they're also looking at introducing a new tribal code within the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation to address the crisis that we're facing.
Wow. Thank you, former State Representative Ruth Buffalo. I really, really appreciate you stopping in and talking about these heavy-duty issues. And take care of yourself. And thanks for stopping in. I really, really appreciate it.
No problem. Madzigadadz. Thank you. You too. Good to see you both.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to see you. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back with Haley and I swapping stories, I guess. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Even though the public COVID-19 emergency might be over, it's still important to stay up to date on vaccinations. And if you're like most people, you probably need a refresher on who should get vaccinated and when. So here's the bottom line. If you're 6 years or older, aim for that one updated COVID-19 vaccine. It doesn't matter if you've had a previous vaccine or not. You're still in the game. Now, if you're 65 or older, you've got the green light for one extra dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Just wait 4 months after your first updated dose, and you're good to go. And for the little ones, children between 6 months and 5 years may need multiple doses, including at least one of the updated vaccines, based on their age and previous doses. Remember, always stay informed and reach out to healthcare professionals for personalized guidance. Didn't catch all of that? You can find all of the updated COVID vaccine information at health.state.mn.us. That's health.state.mn.us.
This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Hey, this is Robert Pilot. I taught in St. Paul Public Schools for over 25 years, and I want you to join the team and make a difference in our children's future. Right now, St. Paul Public Schools is offering hiring and retention bonuses up to $10,000 for a variety of teaching and classroom support positions for the next school year. Grow in a supportive and fulfilling public school setting. Limited bonuses are available, so don't delay. Apply at spps.org/careers.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Oh, good one. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm woke, and I never really thought that being awake and around your surroundings and what's going on was a bad thing, but it seems like the Republicans do think of being woke or awake is a bad thing. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that. What did they say? The American dream is a dream for a reason. You have to be sleeping to believe it.
Ooh, good one. Good
So
one
wake
there,
up.
Chujunk there, Gen Z Chujunk. Oh, yeah.
I can't claim that quote. I wish I could, but someone else said that.
Well, we haven't done any prep because we thought we'd have a jam-packed audience or guests. But one of the things, I don't know, have you heard that controversy about the country Western song that's come out here?
Oh, yeah, by that guy who goes by Jason Aldean.
Yes, that's right.
I have been keeping up on that on Twitter just a little bit, and then Twitter, might be going to X. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that's fine by me. I'm not much. I read some Twitter, but I'm really, it's just so nasty out there. And then the person that owns it now is a raving Republican, and I can't stomach it all the time. I get the baseball updates and things like that, or other people that I listen to, like Stephanie Miller's show on Twitter. Follow her on Twitter, and she's here on AM 950 in the morning, and with a great show, probably the second most popular progressive station in the show in the country. And so I listen in to her, and her mother just passed away, I think she was almost 100, if not 100, and that's amazing. That's a long time. But yeah, I mean, supposedly, Haley, he pulled his music video because that was showing a lot of stock footage of places that were having issues, and not a small town. I guess that was the whole thing, a small town. And
Right.
yeah, and they were showing these footage from foreign countries burning down. It wasn't even like the United States, and so it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, the lyrics in there is what the lyrics talk about is whatever, but I'm not a huge country music person to begin with, so.
Oh, well, yeah, me either. But this thing came across, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what are people talking about? And again, I probably found that coming up on TikTok and Facebook, people were talking about it, and so I kind of saw a few things come up on it. But yeah, this guy, his wife is totally for the wrong, that Biden didn't win, and all these. You get deep down in that
that rabbit hole of who these people are that are spewing this stuff, and then their denial. It's just like when Trump was talking during one of the debates, talking about, telling the the Proud Boys to stand down. It's like, they're talking in codes out there that you have to listen to, and people called them out on it too, because it's like, what are you promoting here? Like violence, gun violence of city people coming to a small town? You're going to shoot them? What's up?
Right. And his hometown wasn't even a small town.
Right. He didn't write the song, but he sure.
Well, even
Yeah.
worse. Yeah, maybe you should focus on writing your own lyrics.
Yeah, well, one of the things with him, I read that he had something like 28 hits or something in his career, and he didn't write any of them.
Yikes.
So
That's embarrassing.
He sings other people's songs that he believes in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so let's jump back to the Twins. We're going to be at the Twins game tomorrow, and come on by the Creative Corner right by Gate 34, which is Kirby Puckett's old number, and right in there, and stop by and check it out and say hi. Jelaine, my Weehaw, she'll be there, and her husband Micah will be there, and I believe my Hinu will be there too, Jaleesa. So be a fun packed day tomorrow, and keeping cool will be part of on my agenda too.
I know. What is the temp? Tomorrow's looking like 92 and partly cloudy. Thursday. Okay. Well, it changed since the commercial break, the last one. It already changed. So, but I thought it was reading 97 on Wednesday, but it looks like it's down to 92.
Yeah, numbers as far as I'm concerned, and I'm looking out the window here, and it just downpoured here in St. Paul as I'm broadcasting out of St. Paul, Minnesota, and our station is in Eden Prairie, and our flag station, and it was pouring just a little while ago, and now it's sunny, and the precipitation is gone. It's basically doesn't even look like it rained. So
I know, because everything's just so dry. It just sucks up all the water right away.
Yeah, definitely. So, Haley, what did you do this weekend here? We're down to that in the last couple minutes. What did you do? I know I went to the Twins, see the Twins play 2 nights, or a night game and a day game, and they
Yeah.
pulled the rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, I know. I saw you posting out there 2 times, twice in one weekend after you told me you were going to take me on a boat ride. Oh,
Hey, family squabble on live
family
radio.
squabble
Oh.
over the boat.
Yeah.
So Minnesotan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I just figured I better get out there because of the store, and then a friend of mine wanted to go. It's a long story, Haley. I'll tell you after the show, and hopefully you'll forgive me.
I
But,
forgive you. I forgive
right.
you. No, I had a nice weekend. It was really relaxing and got some yard work done and hung out with the dog and the fam. It was nice.
Yeah, that's good. What's your dog's name again?
Oh, that's Sadie girl. Yeah. Adopted her my senior year of high school back in 2016. She's
Wow.
she's a border collie golden retriever mix. We're not really sure what she is, but yeah,
Mhm.
she's a very fluffy big dog, and we love her.
And dogs are sacred to natives, but it's also, I feel like
Yeah.
dogs are family, cats are family, and when they go, it's super hard. And we just had one of our dogs take the Rainbow Bridge, so to speak, and
Yeah.
we were there for it. And I just read a great article about be there for your animal. A high percentage of people put their dogs and animals down, and they aren't there for the moment. And I know it's super hard to do. Believe you me, I cried I was wailing like a baby. But it's good. It's good for the other being to see you in their last moments.
Yeah, exactly. And our dogs, they're descendants of the sacred animal, the wolf. So,
Yep.
which is also my, Native Americans, they have different signs, right? Animal signs for your birth month. Yeah. So maybe we
And
can
yours
talk
is
about
what?
that next time.
That's right. Hey, thanks, Haley. We did a show together, and see how they snuck that in. We just did a whole show together. Kibitz.
Yay.
Yeah, right on. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio, and I just want to end this. If you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance from Chief Plentycoops. The ground in which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
It's an absolute must for any true foodie. Vinaigrette at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis offers premium